Welcome to YogiViews, where my guest is yoga itself, through interviewing those who practice it, teach it, sell it, or simply love it. I'm Antonio Saucis. This is the second part of a two-part show where I'm interviewing Tim Dale. Tim Dale, for whom mindfulness and eating well has always been important, pioneered in the natural foods restaurant business, having opened and operated many of San Francisco's most popular restaurants and nightclubs. These include Le Colonial, 11, Fumé, Undici, Eddie Jack's, the DNA Lounge, the Taproom Bar, and the Up and Down Club. Then he took a sabbatical from the restaurant and nightclub business and took up yoga. His sharp business eye noticed a gap in the market for a yoga studio that would be a space for great teachers to teach their passion without having to fit into the singular teaching style offered at a certain yoga studio. That is why, together with his partner Tara Dale, he opened the first Yoga Tree in October of 1999, and today Yoga Tree has 9 yoga studios across the San Francisco Bay Area. Why do you think so many women have embraced yoga versus men?
Well, it's a great question, and I think that's men's problem, because yoga is for everybody, and it's not so much that that women have found it; it's more that men haven't found it, And I don't know if it's this machismo or maybe it's most you talk to men, you usually say, "Oh, I don't do yoga; I can't touch my toes," or something like that. It's like, well, that's exactly why you do the yoga. They think somebody else is going to be watching them in class, or they're self-conscious, or maybe they, I don't know. There's stereotypes that I think we're starting to attract more and more men into class, which is a beautiful thing. And I think that most of them, when they come, they find out, wow, this is for me. This does make, a lot of the other things in my life better that's going on, and it's a great add-on.
And in fact, you've started a couple of years ago a men's school, or a group of men practicing.
Thank you for your involvement in that.
Have you noticed any change in the body of students? Do you think that more men are coming because of seeing more men around, or no?
I am noticing more and more men are doing yoga every year.
Yes.
So there is, and I think that it's going to keep going up a few notches every year. And we're doing our best to reach out to the other, to the what do we call it? I can't remember the word I use right now, but the other alternative groups that you don't normally see in yoga class, and doing our best to invite them into class. One of the big areas that we're really, not to change the subject, that we're really pursuing right now are teens. Our teen yoga programs are really exciting. We have a teen yoga ambassador program that's working for us really well, and we're bringing yoga into the high schools, and wow, it's really catching on. Now we're getting that generation, and they're coming up, and when they start catching on to yoga, and they're loving it, especially you can imagine women going through changes in their life, and you hear about all the struggles that they have. Well, yoga is great for them.
Yeah, well, and it also is a bit of a double win, because on one hand you're benefiting the teens themselves, and on the other hand you're ensuring future clients, in a way, which is not a bad idea. Future people that will come to the studio. You were mentioning why men usually don't go to yoga, but you're a man, and you know about yoga. Why do you think men should practice yoga? Do you think they should?
Oh yeah.
And so why? What do you think yoga has for us men?
Well, it really helps with focus. It's great for cross training and keeping you young. There's a lot of things that that you can use in terms of get out of yoga, in terms of for your patience, or the stillness that you find, or your meditation practice, or your breathing practice. I think that it's a total you know, way to stay young and active.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you think it gives us,
mindfulness.
and do you think it gives us something emotionally that is important for men?
You bet.
Or not?
You bet it does.
Because
Wow.
one
I mean, look at my yogi buddies. You know,
Mhm.
they have traits and characteristics that my other friends don't have.
yeah.
There's a sensitivity to them that I really adore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that I think that is also appreciated by women.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness.
In many ways,
Yeah.
perhaps not by all, of course, but a lot of women think, and I've asked many of our guests whether they would think that a man that practices yoga has any better chance, and it seems that it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, women love men that do yoga. That'll get the guys in class.
Yeah, of course. So we're discussing who goes, who teaches, but one of the remarkable things is that you have opened studios in different locations throughout the Bay Area. And San Francisco is, of course, a hub for yoga and for many other things, but you've expanded in the Bay Area. Now, what were those choices made on? Did you think of profitability or demand or social outreach? Why? What moved you to open different studios?
Yeah. You know, different reasons for different studios, but it's basically the one underlying factor is the support that I've gotten from the community. It's been amazing. You know, we started the first studio in '99, and that was just a little studio over on Stanton Street across from Golden Gate Park. And after about a year, realized that that was, you know, at capacity. And then had an opportunity to open up over in the Mission in an old church, and then that one was busy from day one. Then I found a location. At that point, I had realized I'm getting myself in a little bit of trouble here because I'm opening up a business that is too big for myself and my partner to operate, but not big enough to support a management team. So I'm like, oh my God, I better open up a couple more studios. Mm-hmm. So that was why I opened up studio number 3 and number 4, just so that I could support a management team, and we wouldn't have to do everything ourselves. And then at that point, studio number 4 just was busted at the seams. The one, Yoga Tree Castro, was a huge success. And so, you know, 5 and 6 were kind of easy, and there was a couple occasions where existing yoga studios came to me, and they didn't want to be in the business anymore. But I looked at it as probably a viable opportunity, like the one in Berkeley. That was an existing studio that they basically came to me and they were like, "We can't do this anymore. Please buy this." The price was right, and I said, "Well, I can do this." You know, I also happened to have a rapport. It was a coincidence that I had a long-term rapport with the gentleman, the landlord. The gentleman who owned the building was an old friend of mine, so it was kind of a shoe-in. You know, I knew I had the support, and so I went for that one. You know, Marin. You know, we'd always kind of had our eye on Marin and wanted to expand over the Golden Gate Bridge.
Why Marin? Because it's more affluent, or?
Yeah, you know, it's like it's just always, for us, has represented that culture of mindfulness and body awareness. And we have a lot of friends that live in Marin. It's basically, I think that whenever whenever I had any spare time, I was in Marin, whether it was on my mountain bike or going to wine country or you know, doing something. Well, Marin is really our playground, and there's also a great community over here.
Yeah,
and so that was why we really wanted to do Marin.
You also do a lot of social outreach. I understand that you donate to several organizations, big and small. There's also a lot of cultural things that happen at your studios. The Bay Area, and particularly Marine, has a very interesting combination between money and spirituality. Because usually spiritual communities are rather poor or don't have a lot of money, and very rich communities are not necessarily into spirituality. Would you agree that here we have this mix that is rather unique?
Mm-hmm. So I feel when I'm opening up any business, okay, that I have an obligation to, the roots of the business itself. Like, to go back to when I had jazz clubs. I knew it was partly, I was opening up a business, but it was also an act of preservation for the jazz movement, the jazz scene. I was trying to, do my best to represent that. Well, it's no different with yoga. And I think the mindfulness, the heartfulness, the sense of community, the philanthropic sense, those are all obligations that I believe that I have in opening up a yoga studio. And so I have I've made a business, and to be a responsible business owner, I've made a commitment to the community to represent it the best I can. And yoga, I think, comes karma yoga, or a certain amount of giving back, and embracing your community, your sangha. Mm-hmm. So in order to really represent what yoga is, it's got to fulfill, the practice. Mm-hmm. And I don't have anything against being rich. I strive maybe to be there someday myself, who knows? But anyways, it's not about that for me. It's about the other side of it. It's about, are you still philanthropic? Do you still, are you still compassionate to people? Are you still, it's amazingly great how Yoga Tree, I should say, is able to give back to the community. There's not a single school in the Bay Area that we don't donate passes to for their silent auctions, and we have the Seva Foundation, we have Yoga Reaches Out, we have the Prison Yoga Project, we have all types of incredible Bay Area, I should even say international charities that we support through Yoga Tree. And I do it because I feel as though it's a responsibility that we have.
And what's your criteria to choose them? Do you have any, or?
Well, because the list can go on and on.
Yeah.
So first, I try to keep most of the nonprofits or organizations in our community. So I'm, whether it's the urban farm concept or bicycle coalition, or like I said, the local schools. Those are all great things right in our community that I can watch grow. We can grow together. Mm-hmm. And then obviously there are some causes that I believe are rooted to yoga, like the Seva Foundation, or doing orphans in India. Yeah. Things like that I think just are really important, kind of giving back to where we came from. Yeah. In terms of, or the practice of yoga came from. Yeah. So, I'm pretty easy though. It's like, it'd be pretty tough for me, not to do something. I've got a big heart and open hands, and I love the idea of helping other people with their ideas, helping them flourish.
It's also probably part of the passionate way in which you do business. Mm-hmm. It's part of the passion. What do you think about corporate yoga? Are you a corporation?
We're an LLC in terms of Yoga Tree itself. Just obviously it needs to be. When you say corporate yoga, you mean yoga in companies?
No, I mean
the big.
The big, yes, the
big boys.
The big boys, exactly.
My objective is to get people on yoga mats. However that's done, I'm fine with. I think that I want to empower the teachers. So I think that as long as, it's not demeaning to teachers, and we're paying teachers a living wage, so that they can survive in the community, that you're not asking them to teach yoga and starve. And then also, supporting the community is always, as I just said, is a really important criteria for me. And then, just let's get as many people feeling the benefits of the practice itself. I think that it's all good.
What do you think is the future of yoga? Because on one hand, we can talk about it from an activity standpoint, but also from a business standpoint. Do you think it's a sustainable business for the future?
Yeah, I do. It can't be replaced, really. It's unique, and it's linked with ancient teachings and lineage. It's a very deep ocean. The teachings go on and on and on. I mean, I know people have been, studying and teaching and learning about yoga for 30 years, and they're still diving deep, and they're still in this sense of discovery. And so there's really something there. It's for a lot of people. It's not aerobics.
And you don't think it's a fashion that at some point, a bit like the gyms. There's been always.
I don't
gyms,
see anything that can replace it. Basically, I don't think between the lineage and the teachings and how the Sanskrit stuff that they're finding out about the roots of yoga, and how it's linked to medicine, it's linked to religion, spirituality, and it's linked to your own inner and health, and there's the chakra system. It just keeps on going.
And in regards to the union with medicine or with the healing arts, yoga therapy is very popular in this moment, and you do present some yoga therapy workshops, right? You don't have a training in this moment.
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do. We have yoga therapy trainings. What we did is we just rolled out our 500-hour program at Yoga Tree, and we're the first yoga studio in the nation, so that you can specialize, and there are majors and minors, and you can focus your practice if you decide that you want to get into the hatha yoga or the vinyasa yoga, or if you want to get into the yoga and psychology or yoga therapy, physical therapy. There are ways for you to specialize in each one of those different types of practices. It's a great offering that we have, and it's only because we have teachers that are really bringing it, and we have the depth of knowledge that we can access, so we organize it and put it out there for people.
Yeah. And what is your strongest marketing tool? Because you have a very compelling website, and you have a very well recognized logo, and the name is already built, but you also sponsor a lot of activities. You have presence in festivals, in yoga events. What is your main?
Great question, and it goes without question, and that is the people, the community. The proof is in the pudding. And the people coming out, and and 15 years now that we've been in business, what I've witnessed is pretty outstanding in terms of how I've been able to help people heal themselves, and the shift that's been created in people, and the growth that it's happened, and the self-empowerment, and whether it's somebody trying to kick a bad habit, or get out of a bad relationship, or start a new relationship that's really good, or they're starting a new job and they really need to focus, or it's like yoga can empower you to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah. Well, and in a way that fulfills the principle of yoga, which is the knowing oneself, the individual is
self, where it starts, and then as the marketing tool, you bring it out into the community, and people start to notice. They're like, wow, how, something's happened with Joan. Like, what's she doing? And she goes into work, and everybody realizes that she has this incredible beauty coming out of her, and And then she tells her friends, and she brings them. And the people that come out of our teacher training programs, we have a couple hundred graduates, a little over a couple hundred graduates a year right now from our 200-hour program. And that's a major shift. I mean, nobody comes out the same way they went in. and when they come out, they're all like just the joy coming out of it. It's incredible. Yeah. And we have these graduation ceremonies where they all dress in white and walk through a bed of rose petals, and their families and their friends are all around them to celebrate what they just accomplished. And it's a great gathering and ceremony that people latch onto.
And Tim, you were saying early on that you were a businessman, then yoga improved your business skills. And now you're talking about the shift that even a regular individual who goes to a yoga teacher training undergoes or goes through. Were you made a better person by having this business with yoga?
Yeah, I definitely. There's, I mean, you know, it helped me round off. It's very fulfilling for me because of this accomplishment that I'm so lucky to participate in, and this movement that I'm so I consider myself so fortunate to be involved in this lifestyle and this venture right now, this amazing adventure. I was brought up, very compassionate family, and my brothers and sisters and my parents were always, into like they're civil rights leaders, and they're very compassionate people, and they always believed in giving people a chance, and so in that way of speaking, it allows me to do what I love to do, which how can anything be more fulfilling than that?
Absolutely. And what's your next adventure? What is the next adventure?
We'll probably open up a few more studios in the next few years. The demand is still out there. We keep on taking it up a notch, and the response is incredible. Our 500-hour program is going really strong right now, and so we're talking about starting our 1,000-hour program. We're doing more of these online modules, and we're doing some stuff that you can access from anywhere in the world. Some of these teachings and some of these teachers that we're bringing on, that's what I'm feeling, and that's what I think I'm just going to just keep on bringing it the highest quality, and keep on giving people what they're asking for. And so to a certain extent, I mean, the future is held by, how I get called upon. So, I'm just present and allow and ready for opportunity.
Do you get some time to practice?
Yeah, not as much as I'd like, to tell you the truth, but yeah, I do. My practice is great. I really get a lot out of it.
Good, because it's normal that when dedicated to business, sometimes the practice suffers because you have to be thinking of a lot of other things. You have a lot of experience. You have also developed a lot of expertise in the yoga world, and you were telling me earlier that there's a lot of younger people that reach out to you for advice. Do you have any couple of pieces of wisdom for those new yoga entrepreneurs?
So, if you want to be a yoga teacher, don't open up a yoga studio.
That was the first.
Okay. Find someone that, a role model that you can really, get a lot of this information and discover a lot of knowledge from, find, do something you're really passionate about, worry about making money later. yeah, if you bring it in a really authentic way, then I think it's going to get received really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Yoga has many, many aspects and many parts that are all very well integrated, but there still can be identified as yogic cells or yogic pieces of knowledge. Is there one that you're particularly moved by or touched by? What aspect of yoga, one aspect of yoga that particularly serves your life?
Stillness and motion. You know, I try to stay really still inside and calm and clear and thoughtful and compassionate, and then also really proactive and active. So it's one thing that I've always kind of tried to model myself after, is keeping my inner being still and keeping my outer presence really energetic, attentive.
Well, you certainly have kept it quite energized throughout the years, and I have to say that I have had the opportunity to both attend and teach at your studios, and I think that it's a great thing you have done. It's a great model you have created, and I'm sure that you have added your grain of sand to the ocean of well-being in the world. So thank you very much.
It's people like yourself. I thank you very much for your participation at Yoga Tree. And the only reason we're successful is because of people like yourself and the community and everybody that kind of brings their grain of sand and puts it in, and we all sort of, we create this awesome community.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming, Tim, and for sharing your knowledge with us. And I look forward to perhaps having you again sometime in the show. But for now, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. My guest today was Tim Dale, for whom mindfulness and eating well has always been important. He pioneered in the natural food restaurant business, having opened and operated many of San Francisco's most popular restaurants and nightclubs. These include Le Colonial, 11, Fumé, Undici, Eddie Jack's, the DNA Lounge, the Tap Room Bar, and the Up and Down Club. Then he took a sabbatical from the restaurant and nightclub business and took up yoga. His sharp business eye noticed a gap in the market for a yoga studio that would be a space for great teachers to teach their passion without having to fit into the singular teaching style offered at a regular yoga studio. That is why he, together with his partner Tara Dale, opened the first Yoga Tree in October of 1999. And today, Yoga Tree has 9 yoga studios across the San Francisco Bay Area. I hope you liked our show today. And if you care to let me know, shoot me an email at antonio@yogiviews.com. I look forward to seeing you the next time.